welcome to the Finnish Embassy here in Stockholm. I'm very pleased to have you all here. I wish you all welcome, and now I give the microphone to Class Green.
And we're very glad to have with us Anda Rothenberg, a curator, an art critic, and art historian. And please welcome Anda.
The artist referred to the situation in Poland that after that, when she learned that 3 out of 6 million of European Jews who were assassinated during the Second World War were the Polish citizens. So what is Sławomir Sierakowski, who is the performer, doing? Standing in the middle of the totally empty stadium, which has the capacity of 60,000 people, and at that period, totally in ruin. He is asking those 3 million of Polish Jews to come back. He's talking to the shadows. He's asking them to come. And as everybody knows, that their houses were taken over by the neighbors, along with their furniture, with their pillows, and so on. So Sławomir Sierakowski say, come back. We would give you back your houses and your pillows and your cupboards. Just be with us, and we Poles, are going to change along with your arrival. So this is the first time part of the trilogy, executed in 2007. 2 years later, Jael Bartana took the spot where the future museum was to be built. Exactly that spot in the city of Warsaw, which used to be the core of Jewish ghetto during the war, and it was a Jewish district. And she made a performance which she also filmed. And the performance was about the story that some Jews were coming to Warsaw on the invitation of the previous movie character. And they start to build up the new settlement. And the new settlement is being built in a way that the first kibbutz were built in the 30s in Palestine. So that they did the full job of the carpenters and so on. And it ends up in a very specific way that they surrounded their location by the high fence.
And thank you for this film, because actually it tells nothing more than the mission of our museum, which just launched its activity in April this year. I would like to further develop this background and this message. What is this museum for? What is this all about? And how we do act and interact with our audiences. What's so special and exceptional about this museum? It's actually the first and only so far museum telling the story of Polish Jews, the story as a whole. So we are telling the story of 1,000 years of Jewish existence on Polish soil. Right, a few words about the core exhibition. The installation has just started. The exhibition will be in the underground condemnation. It's 4,000 square meters, and it tells the story of 1,000 years of Jewish life. It's so-called narrative exhibition. So it's not the collection of objects, but it's focusing on telling the story using different means of communication. So we have like 200 historical objects, we have plenty of multimedia, we have interactives, games, questionnaires, we have a lot of artwork, maps, text, plus explainers that are complementary to the story told in the exhibition. So you are going like through 8 historical galleries, learning period by period, or selecting topics you're interested in. But in general, we are inviting you for a journey and telling the story, not just showing the objects. By the way, talking about this tradition, I don't know how many of you are aware that we have today the New Year's Day according to the Jewish calendar. Right, yesterday we have the Rosh Hashanah, which is the New Year's Eve, and today we've started the New Year, and we'll feel older now because it's the year 5774. Right, so Happy New Year, everything good and sweet, traditional Jewish wishes for this day. Right, so telling about our activities. As you can see, many people are interested. This kind of way you could have seen during the museum open house, first weekend of our operation. You know, hours of and lines of people waiting in queue to just enter the building and learn what is this museum about. During just 2 days, it was 15,000 people visiting the museum, so enormous interest. And they were studying in the daytime and in the night. So here you can see people waiting for the long night of the museums, again, very popular event. So there was massive interest, a lot of emotions, expectation we faced during this first period.
Ladies and gentlemen, sure, this is a great pleasure, great joy to me to be here and to see also very first time this building, which is a kind of icon of Finnish architecture as well. We talk about Finnish architecture, this is a real piece of Finnish architecture designed by Christian from early 2000, and this Mr. Obama good conversation related 2 years ago, and also his fellow countryman, Mr. Romney. I saw him there also. Just a couple of months later, when I think its message will be that the building will be really open for everyone, for all the citizens, because it houses also so many activities, as so we have seen here during the author's presentation. The site, from the point of view of architecture, it was really demanding, really interesting to, of course, as a Finnish architect, every time I think one key point, one starting point to read, to approach architecture every time is to try at least to understand the context of the whole project. The environment, background, function, everything. First of all, the project was based on an international competition. Competition time took only 2 months, no more, 8, 9, 10 weeks, something like that. We had to create our vision throughout this very, very narrow, very short period. Plus then the site, if you have a look at this site now, is by the way, is in my opinion rather beautiful. I mean the green part, but the history was very complex, kind of ambivalent history was existing there on the site. We know today that all these surrounding blocks, residential blocks, have been erected, built after the Second World War. So the history in a way was totally destroyed there in the site. But also at the same time, the history was really strongly existing there on the site, because this was the heart and the core area of the ghetto in Warsaw during the last war. So the visible and the physical history was polished away, but the history was strongly living there on the site. Out one the memorial, which is the plaza with the monument of the heroes of Warsaw Ghetto and Warsaw Ghetto uprising especially. It was existing, it was very, very integral part of the competition to honor and to understand also the meaning of that memorial. However, the competition, and here we know just reflection with its surrounds and the park has been really important to us, and that's why, for instance, this cafeteria and restaurant area was sold such a way. Or there are very how to say, low rhetoric in this material, but you can see, however, something with the help of these slides. Resolution is not enough for this massive apps. I don't know what is the reason. They don't look like not very good now. Here they are sharp actually. And every time to underline the meaning of this space, that has been, of course, the leading idea of the design or detailing also. During the design process, we were talking about the lamp in the city shape, how the whole building should act as a big lamp which illuminates actually the whole area. It works such a way also today that I think the result is good. It's better today than what we made during our design, because now the building actually shows its interior very, very clearly, and it in this sense acts as a big lamp in the city shape. And the same system during daylight and daylight. So here a reflection again. Our construction company was really proud of this wall, big glass wall. It was written in some newspapers or magazines in Poland that this is the biggest glass wall in Poland. I don't think so, but its scale is big and technically also very interesting, because the whole glass system hangs from the truss above this opening, and that was also quite a big job to our team to make all the calculations, and just also the erection of the wall was demanding to the construction company, absolutely. So from this very first sketch, also Finnair is still existing. Very first sketch done. I can say, although there is not a sign, but it was, it was 14th of May. From this very first sketches through this phase of the design to the final result. That was my job during these 8 years. Still today, I travel. Not weekly, but every 3 weeks, something like that, between Helsinki and Warsaw. My next visit will take place on Monday, so we probably will see it there. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you.